Taneytown Planning Commission. Would you please stand for the pledge of the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, republic for which it stands, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let the records reflect the members that are here, and Bill is virtual. Bill, you hear us okay?
All good.
Thank you. Members of the commission should have received the minutes for January 5th, 2026. Any additions or corrections to those minutes?
Yeah, I have a few corrections.
Okay.
The first page there, the NFPA standard is actually 20 feet for, that's the width that you need for 2 engines to pass. It does not include the parking. That's the drivable area for.
Okay.
Then the, circled the wrong thing. And let's see here. So you made the motion clarification that we would have a drivable space of 28 feet and 8 inches. And I don't like that wording because that 28 feet 8 inches was to include the road curb on both sides, and I do not consider the road curb to be something that you drive on.
Comments on that, even though the minutes,
The question is, are you saying that the minutes are not reflecting what was said?
because I think that's what I said.
I'm saying that I don't drive on the curb. That's what I'm saying.
But the minutes reflect what was said at the meeting.
I went back and listened to what was said at the meeting and typed it pretty much as was said on the video.
Nope.
Anyone else? If not, recommendation for approval?
Make a recommendation.
Excuse me?
I'll make a recommendation.
Okay. Recommendation by Barry, is there a second?
I'll
Second by Harry. Any further discussion? All those in approval? Accepting the minutes, January 5th, 2026, as stated, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carried. Thank you. Delegation and action items for tonight. Request for preliminary site plan acceptance for the FAPCO parking lot expansion. And that's preliminary plans to go to the county agents for comments.
Sir, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a really brief overview of the staff report that was provided to everyone, including the applicant. After review of the proposed preliminary site plan, it is based upon what was approved by this commission for the concept site plan. Since this project was deemed a priority project by the Carroll County Commissioners that require county agencies to expedite their review, the city wanted to do the same. Per the site plan review memorandum provided to the engineer on January 2nd of this year, city planning staff informed the applicant to please provide a sidewalk easement or provide confirmation from MDOT SHA that a sidewalk will be able to locate in the right-of-way. After this letter was received by the engineer who is in attendance today, they got back in their first round comment letter and mentioned on January 12th that we have confirmed with MDOT SHA that they will allow the construction of a sidewalk within their right-of-way. Confirmation email from Anish Thomas has been included with their submittal. Also, for this meeting tonight is to ask Planning Commission to please accept the preliminary site plan for review. Due to this plan's priority review status, preliminary review of the site plan has already commenced, and 3 site plan reviews have been conducted thus far. To expedite the process, city staff is asking the commission to accept the study mentioned in 18110D of the city code at the time of the consideration of preliminary site plan approval. So city staff recommends the Planning and Zoning Commission, number 1, review the preliminary site plan and accept the preliminary site plan. Number 2, specify the date to consider approval of the preliminary site plan will be following the date when all review agencies have provided final preliminary site plan review and approval. And lastly, the commission will allow the preliminary site plan study to be submitted for review as part of the meeting for preliminary site plan consideration and possible approval. If you have any questions, Mr. Chair or commission members, I am here, and also the applicant is in attendance to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
I guess so I understand what you're asking and what the staff is asking. Tonight, we expected to give preliminary site plan approval for distribution.
Acceptance of the
Acceptance for
preliminary site
distribution.
plan. Yes, sir.
Once we receive all the comments back and they're addressed, we'll give a final approval at a meeting, at a separate meeting.
Will be final approval for the preliminary site plan, and then you have the final site plan.
So then there's 2 more approvals. You're saying we're giving approvals for once the comments are back from the agents?
For preliminary site plan approval, and then you have final approval.
Okay. We're on the same page.
Yes, sir.
Unless
Final
the-
approval is the final plan, is that what you're
Final
saying?
plan.
Okay.
Be the last step that comes before us.
I had it straight in my head before you started talking.
I just want to make sure it's straight in my head. So, anyone have any comments after looking at the plan?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Okay, all right, let's start with Mr. Garner.
I was just wondering why they changed their handicap to around back when the other month they were here, we had them out front of the building, right up on top where the steps go up. Because the ones around back, I believe, were already existing and they were already figured in the building itself.
Representative from VAPCO, like to come forward? State your name.
Hi, I'm Melanie Rupp from Hanover Land Services.
And I'm Keith Heindel, also from Hanover Land. I don't know if, I'm not sure what your concern was about the handicap parking.
Yeah,
It's the same, it's the same plan as the last time.
No, sir, last time you showed your handicap up here in front of your building, where you come up the steps, you're gonna make all those handicap. And now you're using the ones that are already there behind, that I imagine are already committed to your building a few years back.
But the only thing that matters is that you have enough
They have
spots.
enough, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
well-
just curious why they're around back of the building like they are, that's all.
For access, that's where the handicap accessible path is.
Okay.
That's not what we were told last time, all right. Is it, I'm assuming there's an elevator when you get in there?
Around back, yes.
Okay.
Other question, Barry?
Yeah, that's it.
Your
Yeah.
comments?
Yeah, sure. So you mentioned about the construction of the sidewalk. That's not shown on the plans at all, right? I mean, I didn't see that, right? That's not shown anywhere?
Correct.
Okay.
That's an easement. We're talking about an easement?
No,
Right.
there's no easement. It would be within, I'm sorry.
No, sorry, you're fine. Just when we reached out and had our first round review comment letters, it was either provide an easement or have SHA mention that a sidewalk could be built in that easement. And the applicant reached out to SHA and Nish Thomas, and they mentioned that there is sufficient room in that right-of-way that if a sidewalk would ever be warranted, it could be placed in that right-of-way.
Right. Yeah, I understood that. I didn't see anything on the drawing, so that's
Right,
fine.
yeah, we're not actually proposing the sidewalk at
Yeah,
this time. That
okay.
would be a future.
The other question I have is, so we see that the standard parking size is 9 by 20, and except it's in the one section that's 18 foot because you typically allow for
2 feet of
overhang.
overhang.
Except then on sheet 11, you show bushes are going to be put there, so I'm not sure if,
That's permitted based on the parking standards.
Yeah.
Right? You have a
So-
2-foot
so you drive your car and push the
into a
bush over-
landscape area.
you push the bush over to park your car?
Well, I don't think the bushes are going to be in the 2 feet, though,
Okay,
based on what I see.
10-foot wide in that median,
okay,
and those are, I think, vibrant.
excellent.
By
First, they're
berm, so they're
small,
not-
small bushes. They're
Okay.
not big.
Okay,
Huge.
very good, thank you. That's my two questions, that's it. Thank you.
Any other comments? Any comments from the floor? For a motion?
Can I ask one thing? I thought the last, when you guys approved the concept plan, you said we could come back possibly once we got all approvals and do a combined preliminary final approval. Is that accurate?
I think I put that in words, I don't remember
So-
word for word,
something.
but it is always possible.
Okay.
Doesn't always happen.
We can ask then when we come
Right.
back.
So we're looking for a,
Acceptance.
We're looking
have
for an
Bill have
exception
Acceptance of the
plan.
preliminary site plan.
approval of the preliminary site plan.
Plan for
Pending
distribution.
request of all, written approval of all.
Yeah, so
Yes.
so it goes to there.
With the recommendations on the back of the report.
Yes, possible. Bottom line,
Yeah, but
what he's asking, possible.
I didn't make it yet, but, so, I don't have a date to specify, right?
No, we won't have a date until we get all the,
So I recommend approval of the preliminary site plan pending receipt of approval of all written
all agents.
agencies, I guess, after the review of all agencies.
I think we're making this more
and-
complicated than what we need to.
Yeah,
Mr. Chair, if I could, we're just looking for acceptance of the preliminary plan this evening.
isn't it being reviewed by people now?
Okay,
We don't
You got
need
that.
review now?
no,
Acceptance versus
acceptance.
approval.
a preliminary site plan approval.
Okay, so I recommend acceptance of the preliminary site plan approval
As presented before us tonight.
as presented.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Who did that?
I second.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Comments?
I'm noting the word approval was still in there, so I don't want to cause any confusion.
Will approve,
It's acceptance.
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 And these recommendations are fine with the commission?
Well, I can't specify a date.
Right, no, it'd just be at a date. It has, we'll be following the date when all review agencies have provided final preliminary site plan review and approval.
Isn't that just like standard procedure, though?
Not
I
accept-
think so from here, but, well, it gets a little complicated with looking at the code.
I was gonna say, it would seem that we could not actually do any final until it's
No,
been through
no,
all
no,
the
no,
rest of
no.
everything else.
No.
So we want to recommend acceptance of the preliminary site plan pending receipt of all approvals. Is that what we're asking?
Yeah.
It's a little bit playing
The
words.
approval letters come later. So
Right.
the reason for the 3 conditions, and Andrew, please correct me if I'm wrong, is that per the code, some of these things are supposed to happen you do one thing at one meeting, you do the next thing at the next meeting, you do the next thing at the next meeting. So the reason that Andrew has put together these 3 things is to be able to do them in a more expedited fashion. So if you follow the code to the letter of the code, the staff report, for example, is supposed to be the only thing that you do that month,
Right. So,
to hear the staff report.
So number 1, I'm fine. We reviewed it and I accept it.
Yep.
I'm good with that. Number 2, specify a date to consider approval. I can't
no.
specify a
date
date.
after all the final approvals.
It says specify the date will be following the date when all, so that it's,
Which is what I said, pending receipt approval,
Okay.
right?
yeah.
And
End
then,
result is you won't get a final approval until we approve the preliminary plans after we get all the comments back from the agencies.
and also, as Jim was alluding to, just to mention what number 3 is, when you look at the code, one meeting would be this meeting where you present. The second meeting is when you would get a study from the zoning administrator, and then the third meeting would be when you would review and approve the preliminary site plan. So I'm trying to, like Jim mentioned, trying to condense this into 2 meetings instead of 3.
But if we're expediting this, I don't see why we need to go into 4 meetings.
That's the hope.
Pardon me?
That's the hope and the plan,
I
is
don't
to
understand why
consolidate
we're
it.
expediting. It's been going on a couple of years. What's the
Right.
hurry now?
Right. So you made the motion, you clear on the motion? Andrew, could you repeat what you think we have?
Okay, I will do my best. Planning and Zoning Commission votes to approve, to accept
Accept.
the preliminary site plan to
For
consider
distribution?
approval once all agencies have provided final review of the preliminary site plan or final approval of the preliminary site plan. That is what I believe you have so far.
That sounds accurate.
Still got the word final approval of the preliminary.
Right, but it wouldn't be final approval of the final.
No,
Right.
we don't want final approval of the final
No.
until,
It's final review of the preliminary, would be at the next meeting
Right.
after.
So typically, the preliminary plan would go out, it would get reviewed, and everything would come back. And then we would see it. So I'm saying that I'm okay with the plan, and we will accept it when we get all the stuff back.
Okay.
okay, yeah, okay. When we get the reports back, we'll accept we'll accept the preliminary plan. Then,
So, sorry, today would be for you to accept the preliminary plan.
Today we accept, then we approve.
right, we accept it for distribution to
Right,
the agents.
yes.
We accept at this one, we approve when it comes back.
Right,
And you don't need, we don't need to or you don't need to come back for a second or a third meeting to just hear the study. The next meeting that you all assemble to hear this item will be for
Final.
the final review of the preliminary site plan.
right. And then we still have the final plan for approval.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you were just going about it roundabout way. So you made that a motion, you got it. Harry did, who seconded it?
I did.
Bill seconded it. Bill, you okay with,
Yes. Yes.
all right. One more time, any comments from the floor? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thank you.
A lot easier to follow the procedure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Somebody needs to change the way it's written.
Great. All right. Next item on the agenda, Tractor Supply Company review of pending PA case 2026-235.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On January 15th of this year, a request for public hearing application was received by the city of Taneytown. The request is contained in your attached application behind the staff report. Additionally, a variance to allow a fence height of 10 feet in the front yard of the property and a variance to reduce or waive the requirements of screening may be needed. We're still waiting to hear back from the special counsel. For recommendation, city planning staff asks the Planning Commission to please provide advisory comments and recommendations for the Board of Appeals to consider during the review of the attached application. And Mr. Chair and the Commission, one of the applicants or representative for the applicants are in the audience as well. Thank you.
Would you like to come forward and state your name and who you represent?
Yes, sir. Good evening. My name is Sam Dudley. I am in-house counsel and the Director of Real Estate Development for MSP Development, which is the developer for the Tractor Supply development in Taneytown.
Comments from the commission? Maybe I'd just help to clarify, since we're talking about the parking spaces and stuff like that. Are the parking spaces designated as the total square footage of the retail space?
So with talking with towns, and I'm going off memory here, so the fenced-in area that they are proposing would be counted as retail space. So the building and the fenced-in area would be retail space. Now, where the trailer parking is, that wouldn't be considered, because we thought when you're talking about retail area, you have a certain amount of people that are expected to park for each square footage of a retail area. But when you have trailers that you tow behind your vehicle, in reality and for practicality, how many people are going to be looking at those trailers? I guess for TSC, hopefully a lot of people, but in reality, those trailers take up a lot of room and don't generate as much demand, customer demand. And that's why that would, now that area for trailers, those parking spaces would not be counted in the total for the amount of parking available, but the trailer area would not be counted for retail area, only what's inside that fenced-in storage compound.
In actuality, we should be adding parking spaces instead of removing parking spaces, because we're adding retail space, correct?
Well, that was my question, is the 331 parking spaces, is that for just TSC, or is that for the entire parking?
Martin Rickle with CLSI, the 336 spaces are for the entire shopping center.
And that includes McDonald's parking?
No, not McDonald's. That includes highs.
It's a long,
It's the highs.
long-running joke about McDonald's parking in that lot.
sorry.
Apologies.
That's the, okay,
It meets
it's
the parking
everything.
requirements until you add that retail space outside, which really doesn't generate that many people into
Check.
that area.
Understand.
But yet it's generating requirements for 77 spaces, which doesn't seem reasonable for the amount of people that would actually be in that area.
And if I may add some color as well to that, MSP is the preferred developer for Tractor Supply new construction in Pennsylvania. We move into adjacent states when we have a retrofit opportunity like this. So in working with Tractor Supply, we know that at peak hours, they only need 64 available parking spots because they've done a lot of data analysis on customers and the time they spend in the store, and what they found is typically customers know what they want when they come to Tractor Supply. It's the customer that goes there to browse is very uncommon. So what that does is it creates a very quick turnover of parking spaces for them so they can operate significantly under the limits. So we understand it is a reduction in parking spaces and an increase in retail space. With that said, Tractor Supply can be limited to 64 spaces, so if we can do a little bit of a reallocation in the parking lot, in the shopping center to ensure that we have enough parking spaces for the other tenants there, that can be a solution as well.
In that, the first 4 columns going from the Kenny store over, there's 72 spaces just in those first 5 columns right in front of the store. So there's more than enough for Tractor Supply there, leaving the rest for the shopping center.
Thanks for talking about that study, because I was wondering the very thing.
No problem, glad to help.
Sheer curiosity, do you know when the peak times normally are?
It varies, it does vary depending on the state that they operate in, but it's typically after work, like 5, 6 o'clock PM.
Understandable. We had that on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, Saturday morning too, yeah, weekend hours, absolutely. More in the afternoon, the weekday typically early evening,
You're open 7 days.
7 days.
Yep. Okay.
I didn't get to drive around back. Do your employees park out back, or are they going to?
Yeah, the employees will use existing parking in the shopping center. They do run the stores, you know, as lean as they can, so there's not often too many employee parking.
Yeah.
But they will be using the parking spaces, yes.
A lot of square footage in the back
Yeah,
that could be used for,
absolutely. We do have to be mindful of delivery truck turning radius as well. That's a big reason why actually the FOD is where it is on the application you're seeing. The nature of the retrofit as it is really does limit where this can go. And we did contemplate putting it in in an area that doesn't conflict with existing parking, but it does, doing that will then conflict with the radius for delivery trucks and other emergency vehicles that will have to use that path as well.
comments?
How many
There again.
handicap parking will you be putting in for your store?
Is that referenced there, Morgan?
I didn't reference the amount of handicap spaces. I think there's at least 6 there in the front. We
There's-
haven't done a site plan yet to finalize all that
Okay.
yet.
Yeah, that should not be a problem at all, though.
We can fit those
Is
in.
there a specific number in your ordinance that's required, or is it a ratio?
It's in the book, ADA rules.
Oh, 88, okay, understood,
those.
sure.
Any other comments? There again, make a recommendation to the Board of Appeals. Anything about the fence, the 8-foot fence? Right, 8-foot, 10-foot fence, sorry.
10 foot.
10-foot.
I believe we're just waiting on some confirmation from another agency on whether or not that's acceptable.
Right,
But you know, we can be flexible there too.
That's not on the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Yeah,
Just-
that's,
Yes, it is.
Just the parking, right?
I guess at this point, we're not sure if it's going to
Oh, okay.
require zoning relief.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, it's not on here.
It's not
because-
on here.
It's not on here because it's not known yet if it's gonna need an actual
Right,
variance.
right, tracking that. So our recommendation is nothing about the fence.
Yep, our recommendation wouldn't say anything about the fence.
On this paper, Jim.
Gotcha. Okay. Comments from the floor? Any recommendations to the Board of Appeals?
Sure, I'd like to, I believe the turnover is quick at a store like TSC. I don't believe it's like a restaurant or even a shopping center or a shopping store, food store. So I think we should recommend to the Board of Appeals that they approve the parking exemption here.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Second by Harry. Further discussion? All those in favor of the recommendation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
I remember reading that, but also had it circled here. Where's that?
Oh, yeah.
I was picking that up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Too many sheets of paper. All right. Andrew, next is the 2025 City Planning Annual Reporting Information for Carroll County Planning.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Every year around this time, the Department of Planning and Zoning for the City of Taneytown forwards the state-required reporting information to Carroll County for inclusion in the combined Carroll County Planning Annual Report. The reason I mention combined is because it's combined with the other 7 municipal governments and the Carroll County Planning and Zoning Commission. So county planning requests, collects, coordinates, and assembles the required reporting information from the 8 municipalities and the county into that combined report. The annual report is then sent to Maryland Department of Planning on or before July 1st of every year. City planning staff today is asking the Planning and Zoning Commission to please review the provided reporting information, and if the Planning Commission agrees with the reporting information proposed to be sent for 2025, vote to approve the reporting information to be forwarded to county planning staff for them to assemble into one unified document. If approved, the commission chair will subsequently sign the attached letter acknowledging Planning Commission approval. And as I mentioned to some of the members beforehand, the letter that you have in your packets referenced the 26th, which was the meeting that was canceled due to the snowstorm, but the chair has the actual letter with today's date on it in front of him. So if the Planning Commission approves, he can sign that letter with today's date. So recommendation, city planning staff request the Planning Commission City planning staff requests the Planning and Zoning Planning Commission vote to approve the requested 2025 annual report data for submittal as presented on February 3rd, 2026, to be included in the Carroll County 2025 annual report. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
I do. So this is an every year thing?
Yes, sir.
Did we add all of those streets? Because that looks like Meads Crossing.
Yep.
So what,
Those were added in December of 2025.
Why wasn't Mead Crossing entered in here as a subdivision then?
Because from what I am assuming, and Jim, please correct me if I'm wrong, so it's when final, I guess, subdivision approval, final site plan approval, but the new roads were deeded over to the city in December, so then that's when those officially became city roads and not private roads. They were officially deeded over to the city of Taneytown in December of 2025.
That was my comments too. So all those streets. Yep, yours too? Yeah. All right.
yeah,
Most of us were on
we're
the
all
same
kind
page.
of looking at it going, that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
That
okay,
should have been
so,
last year's.
but
Yeah.
does it qualify as new road or is it transfer of road? Are there official designations that go in there, or are we kind of just saying what we feel on that?
From what I understand, from when the city would take it over, that road over, that's when it becomes a city road, and that's what what would be in the annual report. So, for instance, if a new park was brought into the city,
Well, no, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be in the report
Right.
based off of what you've said.
right?
I'm just looking at the designation of new road.
Yep.
Is that the correct designation that we should be using for 5-year-old roads?
I would think yes, because new road to the city.
Okay, I mean, as long as that's what that is meant by that, then I'm good to go. But I just was, I was looking, I was like, not very new.
Until the roads are formally deeded to the city, they're not added into the total mileage of city streets.
Okay.
So as Andrew said, new to the city, but also it will be new as far as highway user revenue reporting and it'll be the first
I just wanted to
reporting of the
clarify.
new roads.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that's the terminology that applies to this particular transfer of roads.
And
So,
If
They
it wouldn't have been so
even
many
go
of them.
over the roads before it is gave to the city of Taneytown. I mean, everybody checks, makes sure everything's right?
yeah, that's all been done.
it's new road.
Because I think that went before council, right, where we accepted that?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And there
Yeah,
was a
so-
much longer delay with the village at Meads Crossing than is typical. There were a number of punch list items that, before the city accepts it, Public Works goes out and inspects. They walk all the streets, look at all the curbs and gutters, storm drain inlets, et cetera. And it took a long time for all the defects to be corrected at Meads Crossing. So this was a much longer wait period than is typical. Typically, we wait, it's usually about a year. We like roads to, we call it overwinter, so that, in the springtime, we see if there's been, settling or heaving or things like that from the freeze and thaw cycles. So it's to our advantage to let the infrastructure sit over the course of the winter before we accept it, because usually if there's some flaw in the workmanship or the concrete mix or anything like that, winter and the freeze-thaw cycles is where it's really going to rear its head. So we usually let them sit over the winter, but technically we could accept them, once they're built and inspected. But as I said, it took longer for all the punch list items to be taken care of with Meads.
And without getting sidetracked, it's been a heck of a winter for observing the roads in Meads Crossing.
All right, so I'm looking for a motion for approval of the chair to sign the letter to the county.
I'll move.
Barry? Aye.
I'll second
Barry?
it, but I
You
can't.
can't, Barry. Any further discussion? All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Carried. Thank you, Bill. Next item on the agenda, moving meeting time from 6:30 PM or 7 PM from the 7:30 that we have right now. Open for discussion, and Andrew, you want to lead us off on
absolutely.
what's behind this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as you all know, Taneytown Planning Commission currently meets at 7:30 PM, and you meet at 6:30 PM for the comprehensive plan workshops.
But that's every 10 years.
It seems like it's been going for 10 years.
Nothing to show for it.
The city planning staff would like to ask the commission about scheduling the regularly scheduled meetings for either 6:30 or 7 PM to be more in line with other cities and towns in the areas. Just doing a quick review of all the different cities and towns in, geographic area of Taneytown in Maryland. 4 of them meet at 6 PM, 1 of them meet at 6:30, 6 meet at 7 o'clock, and besides Taneytown, 1 meets at 7:30. And I know it was mentioned by a commission member about other Taneytown boards and commissions. Currently, BZA meets at 7:30 PM, and currently Parks and Recreation meets at 6:30 PM. So just a recommendation of city planning staff would like the commission to please consider moving your regularly scheduled meetings to either 6 PM or 7 PM. Really just to be more in line with what other towns and cities in the
What
area.
does that matter? I mean, what advantage do we have by doing the same time everybody else does?
Be more
Oh.
in line and consistent with other meeting
You
times.
said 6 or 6:30?
It's an extreme disadvantage for me, and you may remember multiple times for the comprehensive plan, I come flying in at the last minute, so until I retire, I'm not really in favor of 6:30, I can tell you that.
That's why I thought we had it later, because we have people up here at work and being respectful for them.
Okay.
What about town council? They
I
meet at
think they're at
7:30.
7:30. Yep.
We're at 7:30.
Bill, you're another one that has a distance sometimes. Your thoughts on this?
I'm with Dan, that 6:30 is pushing it. I'm, between 7 and 7:30, but as Dan said, he's pushing it, trying to get there. It's of utmost importance to have everybody there, so it's 7:30 until Dan and I retire, maybe it's, in Harry, that,
You ready to retire?
How about you?
5 more minutes.
Do you have any problem with it being early? I mean, I know you would.
I would prefer it to not be
Okay.
earlier. The comp plan meetings have been a little more rough to get to.
Yeah.
Tim,
I'll make a motion, we leave it like it is. Out of respect to the fellows that are working.
I'll second that.
Other discussion? What effect, if we would change it, would that have it on the contractors coming in, the developers and all that stuff? Setting back.
It would get them home earlier, that's what it would. I mean, it's their job, so them leaving to be here on time it's not like they have to leave one job and come here to volunteer. They're leaving their job, they're getting paid, they're coming here, so if you make it at 12 o'clock, they'll be here.
No, I'd vote for 1 o'clock in the afternoon if you want.
Give me a couple of years and I'll agree with you.
yeah, me too, me too.
All right, the motion was made, remain the same, which is 7:30. All those in favor of that signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Carried, sorry. Okay. Ordinance and agreements, none. Planning, your report?
So for my report, a lot has been going on with reviewing site plans, and actually the last couple days with code enforcement, with sidewalks, with the large snow, but reviewing, as everyone got a couple weeks ago, the Taneytown supply, that is in review. Had some comments back to them a couple days ago. Also, what you will be seeing shortly is McDonald's will be coming back in for their, like today with the VAPCO, presenting for you all to accept their preliminary site plan.
Oh, goody.
Yes. But that is what's been going on. There's been a lot of, as you probably all know, a lot of questions every day from citizens about doing different things with their property, so just keeping up with that. But that is a very brief report for me for this month.
Did you get a chance to meet with the county?
Not yet. We are planning to do that on Monday.
Well, I have a hearing to go to down there tomorrow. Maybe I'll just meet with them myself. Okay.
Was there supposed to be a meeting tomorrow? I had that on my calendar.
That's canceled.
That's canceled?
That was the one for the water.
Yep, that's
You
down on
want
the
to
list.
go ahead and give a report on that water one now?
Okay, I can do
Meeting.
that. So last
I was gonna
month,
say, it sounds like they have their own version of torches and pitchforks going on with some of the stuff in front of their commission.
well, at last meeting, I asked the commission, and you all agreed to have the Taneytown's water, the water resource element, let's call it, as part of the county's and other towns' joint public hearing. When I originally got the information from the county, which was around the holidays, brought it to the Planning Commission at the first possible time, and when I got back to the county, they had already sent the public notice up to legal and then to the Carroll County Times, so we could not be added. So then that day, I pivoted and had, put together a public hearing notice that went out for next month for this board to hear it as part of your regular meeting. So that is the reason why last meeting I thought we could piggyback onto the county, but it turned out we couldn't after I spoke with the county because they had already sent the information in and could not add us.
But it'll be part of our regular meeting though, so.
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
It'll be a public,
That's fine.
yeah.
It's easier for us.
And not to get too ahead of myself, and this will be mentioned at the next meeting in the report, but just to throw this out there, the county has requested that if anyone from the public provide or asks any questions, that the Planning Commission does not answer questions, because the county staff does not want any of the planning commissions to promise something before they look at, or they look at the information to see if it could be put in the report. So next month, they request just the board hear information. We'll take the information that we hear, send it to the county staff for them to review and incorporate. And then you would all review that document at a later time. But that would just be for the public hearing, for you all to hear information from the citizens. Yep.
You're going to remind us next month, right?
Absolutely, it's already in the report. The report is written and it's ready to go.
I just want to make sure Harry keeps quiet.
Yeah.
And another thing, no.
All right, continue then. Andrew, the rest of it's yours. Projects.
Oh, for projects, just reviewing starting to review McDonald's. We're reviewing the final site development plan of Taneytown Supply. We're still waiting to hear from Taco Bell for them to resubmit a VAPCO that you all saw today. Well, you all know what happened. And nothing else that I know of.
How's the park coming along? They got approval yet from the state?
The park?
Yes.
No.
Right, is that it?
Yes, sir.
All
Has
right.
Garnet Ridge reared up at all after the last one?
I haven't received anything from Garnet Ridge yet.
Yeah.
Anything
Not
from the
Garnet Ridge,
county,
Mountain
county
Brook.
update, Tiffany?
Same thing.
Tiffany sent a report.
She did not.
Old business, we talk about our comp plan, 2025 comp plan update, comments on that. We have our meeting.
Why are you looking at me?
Well,
You're the expert.
our next meeting is February 17th at 6:30. Here in the chambers.
February 17th for the comp plan meeting.
Right, and weren't they supposed to supply us with some hard copies coming soon?
I will get back in touch with them because, and I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, especially, well, any of you, but Dan. You mentioned that you would like to have 2 months to review the final draft, correct?
Yes, I would.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I think
I
that's it.
mean, if we get it in, I mean, the public and all, are we going to review it in its entirety, or is the public going to review it in parallel, or?
It could be both. There is also, I believe, I think it's a 60-day or 90-day, 60-day state mandated review.
How does the public review it?
Well, we can put in
putting it on the city website
City website.
as it's been progressing.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
That last copy the last copy that this commission received was put on the city website.
Oh.
The same day or the
I didn't know
day
that.
after we received it.
Next thing is the water resource element public hearing, which you were trying to put together. Yep. Okay, we already heard about that. And anything else we'd like to talk about?
with the, I guess with the Tony Supply, so it looks like the Hartman Road, that's not gonna get put in right now. That's the way the plans look, right?
From what I have seen, Hartman Road would be a stub
Yeah.
to where their entrance would be. That is what has been presented. I'm assuming that has been what this commission was presented for concept and preliminary.
But I think that's the directions we decided to take.
Do you know, is there a county or a state rule that says how many fire hydrants you're supposed to have around the building or anything?
For s-
There's an engineer,
I think the emergency services in the well, yeah, they're down in the basement of the county office building. To be totally honest with you, I don't know what they look for, but I'm assuming they look for that and also turn radii of
that's what
the
we're
large
doing.
trucks.
Okay.
in fact, they just hired a new engineer because the one before retired.
Because I noticed the building only had one hydrant. I didn't know what the rules were, if that was enough or we needed more or what.
Not 100%.
I noticed right
certain.
across the street. On Kraus Ford's side, there's a hydrant. There's a couple hydrants scattered on the
Okay.
antrim, yeah.
I'm not sure the specifications because the county, the professionals who review that at the county would be looking at that site plan for that specific information.
Across the street, is that a dead-end hydrant? Should they all be hooked in a loop so we have more pressure and better pressure?
Wasn't something talked about, Jim?
So in the city's capital improvement program, there is a plan to connect the water line in Antrim Boulevard back to Trevanian Road.
Okay.
Ideally, it would have been done as those properties developed, but that hasn't been, there hasn't been much momentum there. So we have a potential project in the capital improvement program to connect that water line, so we get rid of that stagnant end and loop the system.
Well, could we work something out with this developer? Could you help out with the price for the town or something? Little
We
late
were-
now?
When there was a prospective developer looking at property on that side of the street, we were trying to work with them on extending that water line, and we eventually, I guess, reached an impasse as far as how they were going to get water to the property. They were trying to avoid basically there's a water course at the edge of the Antrim mini storage property, and that's where that hydrant is, right towards where the sidewalk ends.
Right.
And the city wants that water line to be extended when that next property develops, and we just couldn't reach agreement with the prospective developer that was looking at that next property to do that. But we may end up doing it ourselves.
Now, we have a sidewalk in front of that place. Shouldn't we also have one in front of this store also?
In front of the Taneytown Supply?
Yes.
Yes, there is one in the
Is it?
plan. And it's, I believe it does connect all the way to where the sidewalk terminates at Dunkel Court. So they're going to be building a lot of sidewalk.
Okay.
So I guess sort of related. So I saw they had the light study was in the drawings that we had. I don't remember seeing anything about a fence, but they're commercial, so they're allowed a 10-foot fence, right? And that's what we just said here, right? So they could do that, and like Taco Bell could do a 10-foot fence too behind them if they wanted to avoid bothering their neighbors or something. I guess, I don't know is there any 10-foot fences in Taneytown? can't think of any, but I don't, yeah.
We talked about that when they were talking about putting the building behind for lumber.
Yeah, yeah.
Talking about fencing in where the lumber yard was gonna be.
I was wondering if a 10-foot fence is actually like high enough to actually like protect you from, you know, if my house was over here and the store was over there, is it really high enough to do anything?
No, you take bolt cutters and cut a hole down lower.
All right,
Anyway,
anything else before us? Our next meeting, then, planning commission meeting, would be February 23rd. I'm looking for a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Harry and Dan. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you all.